A Black Ops 2 review from a former COD hater. You guys ready for this? Let's start with the story first. It does have some decently, suspenseful, action-packed moments or awesome moments that are actually pretty intriguing. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed living through the experience that the player was portrayed as, going through these, events, and it was actually pretty good. And you also played the role of the villains in some cases, which was a nice little game changer. It wasn't too gripping, but you kind of got a feel of what they were doing. And then there was another one that was only for like 10 seconds, but regardless, it was pretty good, interesting in the story-wise. However, I'm still not sure if this is a good or a bad thing yet, but I'll just throw it in here. I found myself not really paying attention to like the minute details of like where you are, who you are, what time it is, or how many days till this happens. I guess I was just along for the ride, so to speak. So I enjoyed it, but I didn't really pay attention. I guess that can be a good or a bad thing depending on your preference. Gameplay is what you would expect, go to this place with this gun or complete this objective, and it was pleasantly, again, surprised that it wasn't, in depth, but it was a certain surface factor, if you will, that what you're doing is basic, but it's still pretty fun. And to finish off on the story with the pros, level design, voice acting, graphics, I thought they were all great. Not normal you hear that from me about a shooter, but it was pretty good, I will admit, where it is due. Also, I was mildly impressed that there was a multiple endings factor. I really do applaud Treyarch for putting that into the COD series and actually giving it a life of its own like that, but it may be difficult to process a sequel if they so choose, unlike, how BioWare does with Mass Effect, where it's just a save file and it has all this, complexity to it. I don't think Treyarch is really going to go down that road because, hey, Activision is cheap. The cons of the story, there are some technical issues, typical frame rate drops, freezes. Sometimes you'll die, but the story will continue on. It's minor. It won't, hamper your experience, but it will annoy you. Now, with the multiple endings, I'm sure some of you garnered or actually heard before all this that the choices you make, certain choices you make in the game, lead up to your ending. Now, this usually is a logical process, meaning if you do this, no matter what happens, this will happen logically. That wasn't really the case here. If you did this in the game, so many other things could have happened in real life or another game. It's just that, this story was scripted, this is how it's going to happen, and the decisions really don't matter. It's a crap shot. I mean, you have to go online to get, whatever ending you want to find out this is how you do things. And lastly, there's just horrible AI. Your teammates are stupid, the enemies are stupid. I mean, there was some levels on regular mode where I could just blow by them and shoot them once or twice, and they wouldn't even put a scratch on me or a bullet on me, whatever, The multiplayer to Black Ops 2 is better than I thought, but of course not without its flaws. It is a fun, arcadey shooter that would be perfect to play with friends or family or just like in a party. You probably have more fun that way anyway, in a party than by yourself because you'll probably get pissed off at the issues, which I'll get into soon. But yeah, kill streaks, levels, customization, emblems, all that good stuff. It is pretty satisfying. You will enjoy your non-playing shooting days on Black Ops 2 multiplayer. Now, there are hit detection issues in the multiplayer, but of course not as bad as Black Ops 1, which led to people not being able to even play it, and a lawsuit actually being generated, which was pretty funny, but that's not the point here. These issues will probably anger you greatly, just in the fact that you see yourself shoot a person first, but they get the kill by shooting more bullets than you in the kill cam, but you didn't see that. And I just blame that on the PvP servers. I really do think Call of Duty should go dedicated because this instance will anger you greatly because you're trying to do this, you're trying to be good, you're trying to help your teammates, and when you do things logically that you see and it doesn't pan out, you will be pretty angry. And lastly, on the cons to the multiplayer, as I said before, it's fun to play with friends, but if you're playing by yourself, and when it first came out, you're like, oh yeah, this is awesome, or this is very fun, I can't wait to play some more and prestige some more. However, I took a few days break to, play some other games like PlayStation All Stars. I think I even took a small break to play The Walking Dead in episode 5. And when I came back to Black Ops 2 on the multiplayer, I'm like, wow, this wasn't as fun as it was now that I had other games to play. So you're kind of content with not playing it. So I'd say if you're not busy with other games and or you're a COD fan, I'd probably say buy Black Ops 2. Now, if you have other games to play and you hate those I shot you first situations and you know you'll get angry at that, I'd probably say avoid Black Ops 2.